Let me take you there. It's a blistering July afternoon in Oak Ridge, a tired little city tucked between highways and smokestacks. Heat's bouncing off the pavement like it's alive. Kids are trying to kick a beat-up soccer ball in the street. And then you hear it a cop car creeping slow windows down, loudspeaker crackling. That sound alone makes people on porches sit up straighter because everyone knows whose car that is to own. Officer went Brent Riker, white shirt, sweat-stained jaw tight, eyes looking for a fight. He's been patrolling this block for years. Not to keep it safe, but to remind folks who's in charge. And today his eyes lock on a man carrying groceries, a man named Marcus Doyle. Marcus looks like somebody's favorite uncle, mid-40s, lean, frame gray at the temples, button-down shirt neatly tucked. Nothing about him screams trouble. He sets his bag on the hood of his car, checks his phone, and then feels the silence thicken. Kids stop playing. Loretta next door lowers her book. Everyone can tell the moment's about to snap. Riker rolls his window all the way down. "Hey you, papers, you think you belong here?" His voice isn't a question, it's a dare. Marcus glances up, calm eyes steady but not aggressive, like he's measuring a storm. "It's my car. It's legal." Riker sneers. "Legal, that's a joke. Black man in a new car. You're all the same." The loudspeaker squeals, echoing down the block. People reach for their phones. Marcus doesn't bite. He opens his car door, slowly places his grocery bag inside, closes. It stands upright. It's a simple motion, but it drives Riker wild because calm isn't the script he's written for this scene. He jumps out, boots hitting pavement, hand resting on his radio. His partner, Evan Malone, stays in the car, head down, fighting the same sick feeling he's fought for years. Riker leans in close, spits his words like poison. "I'll teach you what a real cop does." Then, loud enough for every porch to hear, he yells into his radio, "Suspect in possession, possible narcotics. Need backup." People gasp. Marcus stands there cuffed now, wrists bound by steel engraved with the word justice. An ugly joke burned into shiny metal. Riker presses him onto the hood, heat searing Marcus's cheek. Someone across the street whispers, "He's planting something again." And then it happens, the part the whole internet will replay a million times. Riker reaches into Marcus's car, pulls out a plastic bag of white powder, holds it up to the sunlight like it's a trophy. "Knew it," he shouts. "Another dealer off my street." Phones zoom in. Loretta can't stop shaking. The teenagers filming whisper, "This one's different. He's too calm." Marcus lifts his head just enough to speak. His voice isn't loud, but it cuts through the crowd. "You just dug your own grave." People blink. "What did he just say?" Riker laughs. "Yeah, tell it to the judge." Marcus slowly brings his cuffed hands toward his jacket pocket. The metal clinks. The whole block holds its breath. From that pocket, he pulls a worn black wallet, flips it open, and out glints a federal badge, DEA. Sunlight bounces off it like a signal flare. Silence crashes over the street. Riker's smirk drains off his face. His hand holding the powder bag trembles. The kids in the corner gasp. A woman bursts into tears. The teenager's live stream viewer count jumps into the thousands. Marcus says it again, louder now. "You just planted drugs on a federal agent." The words hang in the hot air, heavier than any siren. And just like that, the power flips. Riker stumbles backward. No way," he mutters, trying to laugh but sounding like a man choking. People surge forward and phones raised high, recording every twitch. Marcus stands taller, even with cuffs biting his wrists. "You can bind my hands, but you can't bind the truth," he says quietly, and the crowd erupts. Minutes later, a black SUV screeches to a stop. Out steps Chief Dana Crowley, sunglasses off, expression unreadable. Someone hands her the teenager's phone showing the live stream. She watches Riker with the powder bag, then Marcus's badge. Her jaw tightens. She walks forward like a hammer about to fall. "Officer Riker," her voice rings out. "Drop your gun and your badge. Now!" The crowd goes wild, shouting, clapping, crying. For the first time in years, fear starts leaking out of the block like air from a punctured tire. Riker tries one last stand, screaming into the chaos. "You're siding with him. This is my street, but nobody's buying it. Chief Crowley reaches out, tears the badge off his chest, lets it clang onto the asphalt. The sound echoes a kind of justice bell, ringing down every hallway of memory. The live stream chat floods. He's done. Justice at last. And just when you think the scene's over, Marcus speaks again. This wasn't an accident. We've been following him for months. He pulls out a folder thick with evidence. Each page is another nail in a coffin, old cases, identical baggies, the same rubber band knot over and over. People start shouting names, recognizing loved ones who vanished into jail because of discoveries like this. Evan Malone, still by the patrol car, finally steps forward, his voice cracking. I saw those bags 3 times. Not once, not twice. 3 times. The confession detonates through the crowd. This isn't one crooked cop. This is a whole pattern. By nightfall, the stories everywhere, hashtags trending, cable news running clips of the badge reveal late-night hosts talking about the cop who framed the DEA. Commentators debate whether this is one man's fall or a system's unmasking. People from other towns flood Marcus's inbox with their own stories. The teenager's video hits 1 million views, then 5 million. Signs pop up in city squares, justice does not sleep. A week later, the same square that once felt like a cage has turned into a festival of signatures. Long tables under tents, folks lining up to sign petitions, demanding every one of Riker's cases be reopened. Elderly neighbors who'd kept their heads down for decades now gripping pens like weapons. Loretta signs her name, tears in her eyes. All those years he scared me, she says, and now I'm not trembling anymore. Marcus puts a hand on her shoulder. Now we have light, he says softly. Not as a hero, but as a man who knows how long the dark lasted. News keeps breaking, leaked emails about targeting old cars from poor zones, pictures of Riker at lavish parties. People realize it wasn't just racism. It was about class, about power, about who could fight back and who couldn't. Marcus tells the crowd, they didn't just go after black folks. They went after anyone powerless. The crowd roars. A young man yells, we won't bow our heads anymore. It feels less like a protest and more like a rebirth. Even Evan Malone comes down to the square in plain clothes, signs the petition head low. Some blame him, others nod, but no one ignores the fact he's there. The teenager now, with hundreds of thousands of followers, holds up his phone, whispering to the live stream, you see this? It's not just a video anymore. It's changed. Viewers pour in from Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles. People start painting Marcus's line, when truth is erased, darkness grows on walls, t-shirts, and profile pics. It becomes a rallying cry. Behind closed doors at Police HQ, Chief Crowley locks down servers, orders every case file pulled, every system log checked. She tells the room, we cannot let history record that the truth was buried again. Officers lower their eyes. Some scribble notes. Others clench their fists. They know the game is over. And Marcus, he walks the streets quietly, talking to small groups, shaking hands, listening to stories. He's not acting like a celebrity. He's acting like a neighbor. A middle-aged man grips his hand and says, we used to think words changed nothing, but seeing you, we believe now. Marcus nods. It's not me, it's all of us, but it's not a fairy tale ending. One evening, news breaks that the body cam hard drive from Riker's patrol car is damaged. People explode online. They're trying to cover it up, the comments say. Marcus steps onto a makeshift stage in the square, looks out at the crowd, voice steady but firm. Truth can be erased from a hard drive, but not from memory, not from our hearts. The square erupts, chants of justice rising like a wave. Evan steps forward to the mic, trembling. Someone told me to delete the files, he confesses. I didn't do it, but I didn't stop them either. Not anymore. His voice breaks, but the crowd cheers anyway, not for what happened, but for finally hearing the silence break. By the time the sun sets, everyone understands this isn't just about one cop. It's about years of looking away. About an entire structure built to shield itself. About a community that finally realized the phones in their hands were stronger than the fear in their chests. And here's the wild part. Marcus never raises his voice. He doesn't gloat. He doesn't play to the cameras. He stands there, wrists still marked from the cuff's eyes steady, and lets the crowd's roar wash over him. He knows this fight's bigger than him, but he also knows something shifted for good. That once you see the lie, you can't unsee it. Once you stand up, you can't crouch back down. So now as you're watching this, maybe on your lunch break, maybe late at night, think about your own town, your own street. Have you ever seen someone get written off because of how they look, what they drive, where they're from? Have you ever thought this is just the way it is because Marcus Doyle's story says it doesn't have to be? Phones roll, people speak, darkness cracks. Drop a comment below. Do you think what happened to Marcus was a freak accident or proof of something deeper in the system? Have you ever witnessed someone get profiled or framed? Should cops who do this face life-changing consequences, or is losing a badge enough? Tell your story, because the more of us who talk, the harder it is for the truth to be buried again.